Chaotically Nerdy is a podcast made by nerds for nerds. This podcast is made by adults, for adults, and children with bad parents. Adult language will be used and adult situations may arise. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Chaotically Nerdy. Once again, joining us is one of your hosts, Tyler. The other host is
Jarrett.
And then the third and final host,
Ethan.
Yay. And us three are typically always here, typically. And today we are going to be talking about the fighter class. We are going to cut out some of the classes that we just don't really, I don't want to say that we don't enjoy, but we feel like aren't as valid.
Thematically enjoyable, or interesting, I should say, not enjoyable, interesting.
Well, they can be really functional.
Or mechanically subpar. Some of them, it's a mix of both. Some of them are not as good.
True.
And then some of them are just...
Yeah.
There's
a lot of them, like Samurai is one of them. It is thematic, 100%. I mean... Well, not 100% because there are features that aren't just thematic, but
but it is very mechanically deficient.
Yeah,
it's boring.
All right, so as always, not going to talk about the table. You guys can look that up on D&D Wiki, anywhere you want, really. So we'll see who's going to take us into the features for the fighter. That is Ethan.
All right,
jump us in, big boy.
Fighter is exactly what it sounds like. It fights.
I think we should mention this is probably the number one starting class.
Absolutely.
Like if somebody is going to get into D&D, it's usually this or Ranger. This is the better option.
It is the most accessible class.
Yes.
Just simply because it's what everyone knows. It's the knight. It's it's somebody who fights. And it's with swords, with bows. They just do everything well if it has to do with fighting with weapons.
Yep. And the archetypes are, you can have some very simple archetypes that make it really easy to just get in and learn how to roll and play the game.
Mm-hmm. All right. Starting out, though, with the class features, for hit points, you have 1d10 as your hit die. You are proficient with all armor and weapons and shields. You don't get any extra tools. Your saving throws are with strength and constitution, and you get to choose skills from two skills from this list: acrobatics, animal handling, athletics, history, insight, intimidation, perception, and survival. The equipment is just basic fighting equipment. It's armor, it's weapons. The one thing that really sets fighter apart is fighting styles. So whenever you make your character, you get to choose a fighting style. There are several of them, and there's additional ones that you can find throughout the book. They all match. The only ones I'm going to mention right now is there's 2-weapon fighting, which gives you a benefit whenever you are using 2 weapons that you don't normally get with your offhand, actually benefiting from your stats. Protection, which is if you're using a shield, you can block damage for somebody next to you. Defense just gives you an extra AC point, and the other one I will talk about is the ranged. What's it called?
Archery.
I don't have it on my list here. So, archery though, it's really strong. It gives you a bonus to your chance to hit.
It's a +2.
I don't have it on here.
I know. That's why I was saying it.
Right.
I wasn't meaning it like...
It's +2. And with fighter, that is super good, and it really sets it apart as a really good ranged character. Additionally, whenever you make the character, you get the ability called Second Wind. So you have a limited well of stamina that you can draw on to protect yourself from harm. On your turn, you can use the bonus action to regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your fighter level. This is really one of your bread and butter abilities that it keeps you fighting. You also get Action Surge at level 2, which is another classic thing. You are able to take an additional action as a bonus action twice before a rest, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This is worded weird on here. Sorry. Martial archetypes. At 3rd level, you get to choose an archetype that you strive to emulate in your combat styles and techniques. Basically, this is your subclasses. Is where you get to.
All right, I don't mean to interrupt you, but since you didn't have it, the action surge.
Oh yeah,
you can use it once up until 17th level. Then you can use it twice.
but only once on the same turn.
Yes.
I don't know why this is worded so weird. Okay. The archetypes, though, you get to choose one. That's what we're going to go over today.
That's your subclasses.
Your subclasses. Ability score improvements. Now, fighter is different when it comes to ability score improvements. So when you reach 4th level, and again at 6th, 8th, 12th, 14th, 16th, and 19th levels, you can increase one ability score of your choice by 2, or increase 2 by 1, or you can choose a feat. That is a total of 7 feats that you can take, which is incredible, or ability score improvements.
3 more normal.
Yeah.
Is it 3? I don't know why I thought it was 2, but
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes fighter worth playing.
not to mention you can make yourself a jack of all trades as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you just get that many ability score improvements.
At 5th level, you get the extra attack, so you can attack twice instead of once whenever you take the attack action on your turn. Again, a lot of classes get this ability, but fighter takes it a step further because the number of attacks increases to 3 whenever you reach 11th level and 4 when you reach 20th level. At 9th level, you get the Indomitable ability. You can reroll a saving throw that you fail. If you do so, you must use the new roll, and you can't use this feature again until you finish a long rest. You can use this feature twice between long rests starting at 13th level and 3 times starting at 17th level. And that's really it. It's very simple, it's straightforward, but it works.
It's very good. I mean, like I said, it's simple. It's simple enough that it makes it easy for new players.
Oh, yeah.
The hardest part would probably be choosing a fighting style as a new player. But again, you have your DM, you have other people around you to help you pick.
Hopefully.
And, hopefully.
Unless you're a bunch of noobs.
If you're all noobs, then I guess you're fucked.
Well, look around. Like, not look around, but search the internet, like, for some opinions.
Yeah.
But there's also a variety of them that you can access now, not just the ones that are in the regular player's handbook.
There was a lot.
There's like archery, blind fighting, defense, dueling, great weapon fighting, interception, protection, superior technique, thrown weapon fighting, 2-weapon fighting, unarmed fighting. I think that's it.
There was a lot.
There's a lot.
And the other issue you have as a new player is having that many ability score improvements.
Yeah, you probably would run into like some analysis paralysis, being like,
which feat do I take?
yeah, I've maxed out all my ability scores. What do I do?
That's what is most likely you're going to run into as a new player. Hopefully, by the time you get there, you're a little more well versed and you understand them a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Probably not enough to make great choices, but decent choices.
But the getting all those feats though is another thing that makes this really nice for a seasoned player.
It's really customizable.
Yes.
Based on what you want to do.
The other thing about feats is a lot of them have
we call them like half feats, or half ability score improvements.
Yeah, they give you a point in ability score. So if you're at a 19 strength, you can take a feat that gives you something and gives you a bonus to strength, and then you're at 20 instead of having to just use the point. So let's talk about the martial archetypes or the subclasses. First up is Arcane Archer. We're actually not going to cover it. We're just going to kind of mention what it is. It's from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. And Jarrett.
Okay, so basically you are magical Hawkeye.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah. You use magic to augment your arrow attacks. My biggest gripe with this class or the subclass, you only get it twice. You only get to do that twice per short rest.
Yeah, it is a really big problem.
Yeah. But they're really, it's neat. I feel like you can accomplish a lot of what this subclass does with Battle Master.
Yes, absolutely.
If you're creative enough. Hence why we're not going to talk about it as much.
I would just say that it does have a lot of really good flavor in it, and if a DM wants to work with you to try and make it more functional, I think it would be a good choice to do that because it is a really nice flavored class.
Yeah. in my current campaign. I believe I have it at proficiency bonus of uses per
I think so. I think that's what you changed it to.
short rest.
Makes
Long
more
rest?
sense.
I forget.
Probably
Which
short rest.
one. I think it's short rest because I want people to use their things all the time.
Yeah. Because they should. I mean, that's what they're there for.
It's
They're
your
not there to
subclass.
hold back.
Yeah, it's your subclass. You should do what it does enough
Yes.
that it feels different.
Gotcha. And so I'm going to take us into Battle Master. They basically are really good at all your techniques. Think about a master fighter. Like your top of the line knight is the best way to probably say it. Like they know skills that other fighters don't know. Going into that, combat superiority is what you get at 3rd level. You learn maneuvers that are fueled by special dice called superiority dice. The maneuvers, you learn 3 of your choice, which are detailed under maneuvers, and they enhance an attack in some way. You can only use 1 maneuver per attack. At 7th, 10th, and 15th, you learn 2 additional maneuvers, so you'll end up knowing 9. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yes.
And each time you learn new ones, you can replace another maneuver. So, like if you have one and you've decided, I don't really like this one, you can switch it out. You get superiority dice. You have 4 superiority dice, which are d8s. A superiority die is expended when you use it, and you regain all of them whenever you finish a short or long rest. You gain another superiority die at 7th level and 1 more at 15th level for a total of 6. Saving throws. Some of your maneuvers require your target to make a saving throw. We'll cover all that stuff. Well, actually, no, I'll talk about it right now. Your saving throw is your DC is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your strength or dexterity modifier. It's your choice. Since fighters are so versatile, you can be a dex fighter or a strength fighter. That's why they give you the option. Also, at 3rd level, you get Student of War. You gain proficiency with 1 type of artisan's tools of your choice. And here's where we're going to talk about the maneuvers. It's probably going to be the longest part.
Are we going to talk about all of them?
No,
We shouldn't.
we shouldn't because it's a lot. What do you?
There's a lot.
Let's name the best ones. If we
Parry.
can. Yeah, parry is really good. So parry is when another creature damages you with a melee attack. You can use your reaction, expend 1 superiority die to reduce the damage by the number you roll on your superiority die plus your dex modifier. So
Yeah, if we're just talking like
It can-
sheer damage, I would say precision attack is next.
Yes.
okay, so precision attack is when you make a weapon attack roll against a creature, you can expend 1 superiority die and add it to the roll. You can use this maneuver before or after making the attack roll, but before any effects of the attack are applied. So it just gives you an extra D8.
Yep.
There was another really good one that used to.
There's one that I don't remember the name of it. I can't find it. It halves somebody's movement speed. Is that what it is? Hamstring or what's it called?
We'll look through it. Grappling strike? No, that's not it.
That one's not bad either.
I'm a fan of Commander Strike, getting back to that Warlord.
Yeah. So Commander Strike, when you take the attack action on your turn, you can forego one of your attacks and use a bonus action to direct one of your companions to strike. When you do so, choose a friendly creature who can see or hear you and expend 1 superiority die. The creature can immediately use its reaction to make 1 weapon attack, adding the superiority die to the attack's damage roll. That's good because it's just like, hey, make an attack.
In general, most of these are utility
Yeah.
and situational.
Yep.
That's why you get so many.
You get a
many
lot of
choices.
them. Yeah, there's a lot of choices. And generally speaking, since they are kind of situational, taking a wide range of them is really nice. You really feel a lot more roles than just I attack.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Even though I attack is not bad,
no,
Yeah.
it's just,
you were
versatile.
probably thinking of trip attack.
is that what I'm thinking of?
Maybe. I'll read it and you can tell me. It says when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to knock the target down. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll, and if the target is large or smaller, it must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, you knock the target prone.
Yes, prone is better than half speed.
Absolutely.
So,
And
but it does effectively give it
and
half speed.
Effectively, because they have to use half of it to get up.
Unless they're mobile.
Yeah.
So at 7th level, you get Know Your Enemy. If you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside of combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. The DM tells you if the creature is your equal, superior or inferior in regard to 2 of the following characteristics of your choice: strength, dexterity, constitution, armor class, current hit points, total class levels, if any, fighter class levels, if any. So you get to choose 2 of those. I feel like if you're really trying to fight somebody and you want to know, the 2 best would be armor class and current hit points.
Sure, yeah.
Like that.
That is the most tactical information.
Well, also knowing their level might be useful as well.
It could be
Yeah.
because it would deter you from saying, "Hey, I think I could take this guy." If
Fuck
you're
you,
like,
buddy.
yeah, if they're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, it's
Oops, that
this
was
is
a
a level."
20 wizard. Oops, my bad.
Yeah,
Well, like, I don't know how many times on Hagen, which was a fighter, attacked something he shouldn't have and got blasted.
yeah. I think you mean every time.
Fine.
All the time.
And then at 10th level, you get improved combat superiority. Your superiority dice turn into D10s. At 18th level, they turn into D12s. At 15th level, you get relentless. When you roll initiative and have no superiority dice remaining, you regain 1 superiority die. And at 18th level, I already said that. You get the improved combat superiority. I don't think this is the best class to pick as a starter.
No, it's
Oh,
way,
no.
I
It's
would-
really complicated.
As I was talking about, like, oh yeah, this is super simple. It's a super simple class. This is the probably most complicated. If not, it's one of,
It
if
can be,
not the
yeah.
most.
It
I
definitely.
would say like Elder Knight's probably more complicated.
Well, there's a
Spells.
yeah, but
Because-
there's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, this
with
is a lot of
Battlemaster.
bookkeeping. This is a lot of bookkeeping that I would not inflict on a new
if
player.
you like playing that up front, but you don't want to play like a paladin, this is a really good choice if you don't mind something more complicated.
Yeah, and keeping up with all your stuff, and
Because
you
it
can,
is-
and you're good at remembering that. Because I'm bad about remembering features, personally. Like this would be a bad class for me.
But
that much I know.
But it is if you can work it, it is a really excellent
Yes.
class to pick.
And then we're not going to talk about Cavalier. We're just going to kind of say, hey, this is what it's about. And Jarrett, tell me about the Cavalier.
Well, my
You're going to get out of having to read anything.
yes. My experience with Cavalier is with one Sir Hagen.
Yeah.
He's we talk about the ability of I cast this on you, so therefore anything you attack has disadvantage unless it's me. Cavaliers have that.
Yeah.
It's really fucking annoying.
Oh yeah, it's nice.
It is nice.
But it's really dependent on your campaign and DM if you have a thing to ride.
It's
Yeah.
and he did.
I did.
Cavalier. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what you had to ride?
Sir
Or
Hagen.
just tell us about Hagen in general.
Sir Hagen is a dwarf.
The unclean.
Is still a dwarf, right? Or did he
No,
get turned
he-
back to a dwarf?
no.
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got turned
When
back.
he arose to the heavens.
That's right.
He was cleansed of his filthy
He's-
dragonbornness.
He's totally an angel now. Yeah. Sir Hagen,
They
the
would not
unclean.
let him into heaven.
Sir Hagen is a cavalier. So basically, I built him because I wanted to be a little bit supporty, but I wanted to play a fighter. And this is a really good way to do it. It's not too complicated. It's pretty simple, but I had to pick a mount. And I had to think, what would a dwarf ride? And I thought, goat, no. He would ride a boar. And I just couldn't come up with a name for it. And then finally, one day, it dawned on me. Borgasm. Borgasm is the name of Hagen's probably now angelic boar.
Yeah.
Yep. Everyone groaned when I announced the name
Oh, yeah.
of
I
my
laughed.
mount. But he survived a long time. He survived a meteor strike.
Yeah.
You survived a lot of shit that you should not have survived.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was riding him when we got hit by a meteor. Actually, he went down and I saved him.
Yeah, you had somebody, you touched him or you had somebody touch him?
think-
Well, I had a couple levels of paladin.
Yeah, that point.
Yeah.
You touched him.
Yeah, and I touched him. Actually, I kicked him and said, "Get up."
That's what happened. You didn't touch him. In most stories, you kicked him in the stomach. He's like, get up, you shit.
It's a touch. It counts. Let's go into champion, which is, in my opinion, the best starter.
Sure.
Yes, it's very simple.
It's so simple, and it's me. So your champion fighters, at 3rd level, you get improved critical. Your weapon attacks score a critical hit on a roll of a 19 or 20, which is great because now you have 2 chances for a critical.
Literally crit twice as often.
Yep. At 7th level, you get remarkable athlete. You can add half your proficiency bonus, rounded up, to any strength, dex, or constitution check you make that doesn't already use your proficiency bonus. In addition, when you make a running long jump, the distance you can cover increases by a number of feet equal to your strength modifier.
That affects your initiative roll.
It sure does.
It does.
I did, you know.
That's something we didn't know for a long time.
Yep. Poor Randall.
Poor Randall.
For those of you listening, Randall was Jarrett's first
character.
First character.
I was a champion.
Yep, was a champion fighter named Randall, which is oddly enough his middle name.
Yeah.
I hated that. That part inside of
I mean,
I
We
get it.
all knew it.
I pick shitty names. I don't use my middle name. Feel like there's a line.
I
the
think
first
your
time.
simplest name was your best name.
What was my simplest name?
Murder.
Oh yeah, that was my.
Yeah.
I love that. I wish I could remember the Psionics name because that one was probably my favorite character.
Carsius?
Yeah, that was his name. I just can't remember it. I've had so many characters, it's ridiculous. On to 10th level, you get additional. Wait, yeah. You get an additional fighting style. So kind of like how we were talking about defense, archery.
You get to double dip.
Yep. Defense is a really good pick.
Yeah, you can't-
always, as long as you're wearing armor.
Important
get a
to
plus
note-
one.
Yeah, important to note. You can't pick the same fighting
Yeah.
style.
So you can't pick defense twice to
Yeah.
get a +2. You can't pick archery twice to get a +4. There's all the stuff. I'm trying to figure out where it ends because there's so many.
Superior critical.
Yeah. At 15th level, you get superior critical. Your weapon attacks score a critical hit on an 18 to 20.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that is strong.
This is one of the strongest subclasses.
Also, it needs to be mentioned that it's a weapon attack. So if you are a ranged character, still it doesn't matter.
There's
I always thought melee. I don't know why I thought melee. I just did.
there's beauty in the simplicity of this class.
You go crit fishing.
Oh, it's crit fishing. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Make it
Just
a halfling.
half orc. It's crazy. Yeah, your brutal criticals.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
that'd be good too. I think halfling because then anytime you roll a 1, you roll it again.
Sure.
Yeah, take lucky along with it.
Yeah. And then at 18th level, you get survivor. You attain the pinnacle of resilience in battle. At the start of each of your turns, you regain hit points equal to 5 plus your constitution modifier if you have no more than half of your hit points left. You don't gain this benefit if you have 0 hit points.
You mean I can't be a troll?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
If you have no more than half of your hit points. So as long as you are below half, you get this? That's how that...
Yes.
Okay.
That's why it says at 0, you don't. It's
It
clarifying.
confused me.
It's just making sure you're running into combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're a fighter and you're a melee fighter, you're going to get your points back.
You're like, half the time, you're like kind of Wolverine or / Deadpool.
I wouldn't even say it's not that strong.
It's not that strong. Like, shitty.
I mean, this is such an easy thing to build too.
At that level, you should be getting 10 points back because it
Yeah.
should be 5 plus your constitution, which should be at least 5 at that point, especially with as many ability score improvements as you get as a fighter. And then we're going to talk about Echo Knight, which I believe will be Ethan.
Nope. I haven't talked about any.
You've talked about the 2 that we haven't talked about.
Well, let him do one. Echo
Fine,
Knight. Good.
Fine, do Echo Knight.
I like
Bitch.
it.
Go ahead. Please.
This is from
Explorer's Guide to Wildemount.
Wildemount. Yep. Not Wildemount.
That
you
is
stupid
that
fuck.
is Wildemount.
No.
It's wild, man.
That is
wild.
Wildemount. Y'all can suck a dick.
Go at Matt Mercer.
The
he
E
made
is
it.
silent.
It's Wildemount.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you, Matt Mercer. I love you. Let me in your game.
So this is, you
That's
know,
a roller coaster of emotions.
technically not official content. It's if your DM could very well be like, I don't like Dunamancy and all this stuff that involves Echo Knights. I don't want it. But if you like time and space and
It's all timey-wimey.
I was trying not to say it. but
Timey-wimey.
Yeah. Timey-wimey. So at 3rd level, you have Manifest Echo. You can use your bonus action to magically manifest an echo of yourself in an unoccupied space you can see within 15 feet of you. This echo is a magical, translucent, gray image of you that lasts until it is destroyed, unless you dismiss it as a bonus action. Until you manifest another echo, or until you're incapacitated. Your echo has AC equal to 14 plus your proficiency bonus, has 1 hit point, and immunity to all conditions. If it has to make a saving throw, it uses your saving throw bonus for the roll. It is the same size as you and it occupies its space. On your turn, you can mentally command the echo to move up to 30 feet in any direction. If your echo is ever more than 30 feet away from you at the end of your turn, however, it is destroyed. You can use the echo in the following ways. As a bonus action, you can teleport, magically swapping places with your echo at the cost of 15 feet of your movement, regardless of the distance between the two of you. Or you can, when you take the attack action on your turn, any attack you make with that attack action can originate from your space or the echo space. You must make this choice for each, or you make this choice for each attack. Or finally, when a creature that you can see within 5 feet of your echo moves with it at least 5 feet away from it, you can use your reaction to make an opportunity attack against the creature as if you were in your echo space. So it's just like, this is important to know. You can do this an unlimited amount of times. There's no restriction on how many echoes you can create.
It's really powerful, and it's really good at moving around the battlefield, which is
Always fun.
as a fighter, as a melee,
You need to be able to do that.
moving around is the key.
Also at 3rd level, you have Unleash Incarnation. You can heighten your Echo's fury. Whenever you take the attack action, you can make one additional melee attack from the Echo's position. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. This just goes, you have 3 attacks. When you hit 5th level, you're like, oh, you have 3 attacks 5 times.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yep. And so at 20th level, you have, 10 attacks a turn?
Yeah, it's crazy.
If you have 2 weapons?
Yeah.
Damn.
You have 4 action surge. Use one of your thingies and
Okay,
then bonus action offhand.
I don't know why. I just thought you were saying 10 every turn, and I was
No.
that's what? How?
Twice. You can do that
But
twice.
with
Twice.
action surge. Gotcha.
That's insane. At 7th level, Echo Avatar. You can temporarily transfer your consciousness to your Echo. As an action, you can see through the Echo's eyes and hear through its ears. During this time, you're deafened and blinded. You can sustain this effect for up to 10 minutes, and you can end it at any time. While your echo is being used this way, it can be up to 1,000 feet away without being destroyed. So this is like a better find familiar.
Plus, you can change places with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go on a long journey without having to take a single step.
At 10th level, you have Shadow Martyr. You can make your echo throw itself in front of an attack directed at another creature that you can see. Before the attack roll is made, you can use your action to teleport the echo to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of the target creature. The attack roll that triggered the reaction is instead made against your echo. You can use this feature. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest.
This just adds depth to this class because not only are you just a fury of attacks and moving, now you're defending your allies too, and it's super nice little touch in there.
At 15th, you have Reclaim Potential. You've learned to absorb the fleeting magic of your echo. When an echo of yours is destroyed by taking damage, you can gain a number of temporary hit points equal to 2d6 plus your Constitution modifier, provided that you don't already have temporary hit points. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Constitution modifier. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. It adds more utility to your echo as it gets destroyed. You just get to add some temporary HP back to yourself. Yeah. And at 18th level, you have Legion of One. You can use a bonus action to create 2 echoes with your Manifest Echo feature, and these echoes can coexist. If you try to create a 3rd echo, the previous 2 echoes are destroyed. Anything you can do from one echo's position can be done from the others instead. In addition, when you roll initiative and you have no uses of your Unleash Incarnation features left, you regain 1 use of that feature. So yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah.
That's just even more of that combat movement. And where are you? Where am I? And I don't know where I am at. Timey-wimey.
Timey-wimey. That's a good way to describe it.
It is.
It's a good way to confuse a DM, too.
Yes.
So, Ethan, why don't you take us into Eldritch Knight?
Eldritch Knight. This is it's a semi-caster. It's not a half-caster.
3rd caster.
It's like a quarter caster.
Yeah. Quarter caster, 3rd caster.
So
Probably comparable to the Arcane Trickster for Rogue.
It's exactly
it's exactly what it's about, yes. But they only get up to 4th level spells, and that is at 19th and 20th level.
So not for a long time.
They do get spell casting, but they can only choose from 2. Is it
Schools.
two schools
For certain levels.
for certain levels?
Yeah.
For example, they can use shield, which is really nice for that.
Very good for a fighter.
It's like super good for a fighter. Then breaks the fighter almost. At 3rd level, you get weapon bond. You learn a ritual that creates a magical bond between yourself and one weapon. You perform the ritual over the course of 1 hour, which can be done during a short rest. The weapon must be within your reach throughout the ritual, and the conclusion of which you touch the weapon and forge the bond. Once you have bonded with this weapon to yourself, you can't be disarmed of that weapon unless you are incapacitated. If it is on the same plane of existence, you can summon that weapon as a bonus action on your turn, causing it to teleport instantly into your hand. You can have up to 2 bonded weapons, but can summon only 1 at a time, and you're with a bonus action. If you attempt to bond with a 3rd weapon, you must break the bond with one of the other 2.
So that is a quicker Mjolnir. Because it teleports.
I think of Ben Solo.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's exactly what I think of.
Anytime somebody summons a weapon, I think of Thor. I just can't help it.
But it doesn't summon, it teleports.
It just teleports straight to their hand. It's instant.
It's like, oh, it's in your hand.
All right. At 7th level, you get War Magic. When you use your action to cast a cantrip, you can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. That is pretty simple, but it's really nice. Depending on, do you get True Strike?
Technically, yes.
That was my first thought.
I would not use it with that.
No, I wouldn't.
I would use Booming Blade.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Eldritch Strike at 10th level, you learn how to make your weapon strikes undercut a creature's resistance to your spells. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, that creature has disadvantage on the next saving throw it makes against a spell you cast before the end of your next turn. It's just a nice mechanical thing that boosts your spell casting potency. At 15th level, you get Arcane Charge, and you gain the ability to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see when you use your action surge. You can teleport before and after the additional action. It's just Misty Step, but along with something else you're going to use anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't have to spend the time doing it.
Basically, you've done your 4 attacks.
Yep.
And you killed that guy, and you're like, I'm going to teleport 30 feet to this guy when you action surge.
It's also good if you're dying and you can get away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you can sprint away.
Yeah. Gives you 60 feet, basically, instead of...
At 18th level, you gain Improved War Magic. When you use your action to cast a spell, you can make 1 weapon attack as a bonus action. Any spell, not just a cantrip.
That's good. Anytime you get extra actions. The only contradictory thing I see with this class is most of the time when you cast a spell, it takes your whole action, so you're getting away from all the extra attacks that fighter gets. And it kind of knocks it down a little bit.
Has a little bit of conflict of interest there.
Because you have to choose, well, do I want to do 1 attack with this spell, which I think you said only goes up to level 4.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be super strong spells to start with.
They are not.
Or would I rather do 4 attacks? I know which one I'm picking, but
4 attacks is more likely to do damage than 1 spell.
Yep. And 1 attack. So next up on the list is the Psy Warrior. And it's me. This is from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. So these are psionic abilities, the mind powers, basically. Is this based off of the, was it Mystic? Is that what it is?
It is the replacement. This, I forgot the rogue one. Soul Knife.
Soul Knife, yeah.
And there's another one.
Okay, so they just took those and made them subclasses to classes.
It's the sorcerer.
Everett Mind?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ebermind.
Yeah, they basically said, fuck your mystic shit.
Yeah, because they did an Unearthed Arcana, which is the...
Unofficial playtest.
Yeah, it's unofficial playtest. They put it out. They decided it was too powerful, so they broke it down into subclasses.
Well, they redid it once, still was too powerful or too convoluted. Then they did this playtest, which then became official.
Yeah. So now this is official.
Yeah.
If you wanted to play a Mystic, you have to pick one of these 3 classes and the subclasses, basically.
Yeah.
So at 3rd level, you get Psionic Power. You harbor a wellspring of psionic energy within yourself. This energy is represented by your psionic energy dice, which are each a d6. You have a number of these dice equal to twice your proficiency bonus, and they fuel various psionic powers you have, which are detailed below. Some of your powers expend the psionic energy die they use, as specified in the power's description, and you can't use a power if it requires you to use a die when your dice are all expended. You regain all your expended psionic energy dice when you finish a long rest. In addition, as a bonus action, you can regain 1 expended psionic energy die, but you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. So when you reach certain levels in this class, the size of your dice increases. At 5th level, it becomes a D8, at 11th, a D10, and 17th, a D12, which is pretty much in line with cantrips, right?
It's also in line with the Battlemaster superiority die.
Gotcha. So there's a lot of ability. I know there's 3. Never mind. You get Protective Field. When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to expend a energy die. Roll the die and reduce the damage taken by the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. Psionic Strike. You can propel your weapons with psionic force once on each of your turns immediately after you hit a target within 30 feet of you with an attack and deal damage to it with a weapon. You could expend 1 psionic energy die, rolling it and dealing force damage to the target equal to the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. And then telekinetic movement. You can move an object or a creature with your mind. As an action, you target 1 loose object that is large or smaller, or 1 willing creature other than yourself. If you can see the target and it is within 30 feet of you, you can move it up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Alternatively, if it's a tiny object, you can move it to or from your hand. Either way, you can move the target horizontally, vertically, or both. Once you take this action, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest unless you spend a psionic energy die to take it again. All 3 of those are good. Telekinetic movement is really good since you don't have to expend 1 the first time. And it's a willing creature. Like, if you need to get somebody up a level, basically, you can just say,
Especially if you have like a short companion.
Yeah.
You can use it to help them climb something if they need to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 7th level, you get Telekinetic Adept. You have mastered new ways to use your telekinetic abilities. You get a leap, so as a bonus action, you can propel your body with your mind. You gain a flying speed equal to twice your walking speed until the end of your current turn. Once you take this action, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest unless you spend a die to take it again. Telekinetic Thrust. When you deal damage to a target with your Psionic Strike, you can force the target to make a strength saving throw against a DC equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence. If the save fails, you knock the target prone. Both of those are really good, again, because you don't have to, you don't have to use a die, it looks like.
Yeah, it's just free.
Which are good abilities, especially if you knock somebody prone. And you have 4 attacks to give that a shot.
As a melee character, prone is one of the best things you can.
Absolutely. Like, imagine that happens the first attack and you
Right.
have 4 more if you're a later level, or 3 more.
In case you don't know, whenever somebody is prone and you attack them with a melee attack, you have advantage to hit them.
And then it's a critical if you do hit.
No, that's paralysis.
Oh, okay. Never mind. At 10th level, you get Guarded Mind. The psionic energy flowing through you has bolstered your mind. You have resistance to psychic damage. Moreover, if you start your turn charmed or frightened, you can expend a die and end every effect on yourself subjecting you to these conditions.
Ooh, nice.
That is nice to be able to just say,
Well, like, think about a dragon, right? So it's, yeah, that's really cool.
At 15th, you get Bulwark of Force. You can shield yourself and others with telekinetic force. As a bonus action, you can choose creatures, which can include you, that you can see within 30 feet of you, up to a number of creatures equal to your intelligence modifier. Each of the chosen creatures is protected by half cover for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Once you take this bonus action, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend a die to take it again. Half cover, what does that do?
+2 your AC.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
This is super good because it's a bonus action and
Yes.
it does multiple people.
Yes.
Because originally I would have said, why would I use this on anybody else but myself?
But you can use it on everybody.
But you can use it on everybody. If you have like a 20 intelligence or if you
Yeah.
have an 18, it's really nice.
Again, that goes back to the fighter getting 42 ability score improvements. I mean,
yeah.
if you're taking this, you can dump into intelligence and you'll probably have a 20. At 18th level, you get Telekinetic Master. Your ability to move creatures and objects with your mind is matched by few. You can cast the telekinesis spell requiring no components, and your spellcasting ability for the spell is intelligence. On each of your turns, while you concentrate on the spell, including the turn when you cast it, you can make one attack with a weapon as a bonus action. Once you cast a spell with this feature, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest, unless you spend a die.
I have one thing to say about this class. If you wanted to play in D&D, say in Faerun, in Jarrett's World here, in Wildmount, if you wanted to play a Jedi,
This is
it.
Yeah.
Like this is everything you could want outside of force choking somebody or lightning. Like you just don't get those. But everything else is there. Force push.
Yeah, if you're playing a
sleep.
good guy, you don't do those anyway.
Yeah.
If you're playing a Jedi, if you're playing a Sith, it depends on how you're playing.
I mean, there was an example of Obi-Wan in A New Hope, force choking somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are you telling me Obi-Wan's not a good guy?
Telling you, in his age, he probably got a little.
He's
He
a little
cut that
senile.
Aqualish guy's arm off in the
Yeah.
bar. I don't like you either.
So next up is Purple Dragon Knight. We're not actually going to talk about it.
Purple Dragon Knight is also called Banneret.
Yeah.
When they took the Purple Dragon, so that it wasn't just applied to Faerun, because Purple Knight is based out of
Sword Coast.
Well-
no, it's based out of what is the name of the place? Oh, I forgot.
Cormier?
Yeah, Cormier.
I had it pulled up. That's the only reason why I knew.
It's like,
I was really impressed, but now I'm not.
Don't be. Never be impressed with my knowledge. Most of it's fake.
Yeah, maybe about anime.
I can get you through some of the animes.
Weeb.
Not near as much as Jamie.
Well, he is the captain.
Captain Weebo.
he captains that ship very well.
I mean, they're just knights. They get special things because of their knights.
They just actually realistically they just kind of suck.
They get a lot of decent defense stuff, but it's really boring.
It's not.
Unfortunate,
Yeah.
but it's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that takes us into Rune Knight. Jarrett. I was like, it's not me. I just went.
Rune Knights, these are inspired by any of your runic characters, like your giants, your dwarves.
Yeah,
What's another one?
elves could be.
Yeah, Goliaths, elves.
Goliaths.
So basically, you just use runes to enhance your abilities. At their level, you have bonus proficiencies. You gain proficiency with smith tools, and you learn to speak, read, and write giant. Not that the giants are known for their scholarly works, but
Actually, they are
a few of them are. I was
Yeah.
mostly joking, but some of them,
racist.
yeah.
Don't even start. We can. This is the fighter episode, and we can get into Hagen.
Okay, let's not do that.
Yeah.
No, I don't
Also,
want-
at their level, you have the rune carver ability. You can use magic runes to enhance your gear. You learn 2 runes of your choice from among the runes described below. And each time you gain a level in this class, you can replace one rune you know with a different rune from this feature. When you reach certain levels of this class, you learn additional runes. 2 at 3rd level, 3 at 7th level, 4 at 10th level, and 5 at 15th level. I believe there are 6 runes in total, so you only have to miss out on one of them. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch a number of objects equal to the number of runes you know, and you can inscribe a different rune on each of these objects. To be eligible, the object must be a weapon, a suit of armor, a shield, a piece of jewelry, or something else that you can wear or hold in your hand. Your rune remains on an object until you finish a long rest, and an object can only bear one of your runes at a time. Your rune magic's DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your constitution modifier. And each rune is based on a type of giant.
Yes.
So you have the cloud rune. This rune emulates the deceptive magic used by some cloud giants while wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune. You have advantage on sleight of hand checks and deception checks. In addition, when a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to invoke this rune and choose a different creature within 30 feet of you other than the attacker. The chosen creature becomes the target of the attack using the same roll. This magic can transfer the attack's effects regardless of the attack's range. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. That's really good.
Yeah, it is.
Fire rune. This rune's magic channels the masterful craftsmanship of the great smiths. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you get your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check you make that uses your proficiency with a tool. In addition, when you hit a creature using attack using a weapon, you can invoke this rune to summon fiery shackles. The target takes an extra 2d6 fire damage, and it must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by the shackles, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, banishing the shackles on the process. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. Frost rune. This rune's magic invokes the might of those who survive in the wintry wilderness, such as frost giants. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on animal handling or intimidation checks. In addition, you can invoke this rune as a bonus action to increase your sturdiness. For 10 minutes, you gain a +2 bonus to all ability checks and saving throws that use strength or constitution. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. Stone rune. This rune's magic channels the judiciousness associated with stone giants. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on insight checks, and you have dark vision out to a range of 120 feet. In addition, when a creature you can see ends its turn within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to invoke the rune and force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. Unless the save succeeds, the creature is charmed by you for 1 minute. While charmed this way, a creature has a speed of 0 and is incapacitated, descending into a dreamy stupor. The creature repeats its saving throw at the end of its turns. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. All those you can choose immediately, all 4 of those. The last 2 you can only pick when you hit level caps.
7 level or
7th level or higher.
Yeah.
Hill rune. This rune's magic bestows a resilience reminiscent of a hill giant. While wearing or carrying an object that bears this rune, you have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and you have resistance to the poison damage. In addition, you can invoke this rune as a bonus action, regaining his resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage for 1 minute. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so until you finish a short or long rest. Storm rune. When using this rune, you can glimpse the future like a storm giant seer. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on Arcana checks, and you can't be surprised as long as you aren't incapacitated. In addition, you can invoke this rune as a bonus action to enter a prophetic state for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated. Until the state ends, when you or another creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, a saving throw, or an ability check, you can use your reaction to cause the roll have advantage or disadvantage. Once you invoke this rune, you can't do so until a short or long rest.
Gonna give Jared a break here.
We are going to give Jared a break here.
Yeah. I'm going to say first that, yes, these are based off of giants, but you can just reflavor them into
however
something
you
else. So if you're going to do elves, maybe you don't want to focus on giants, especially hill giants, because they're gross. But you could flavor it into anything else.
Your Hagen is showing.
The hill giants are gross.
They are gross.
Their queen is Guh. That's her name.
Fair enough.
But like you do elves. But the other thing I thought of before was like if we're gonna do it, you could base it off the elements. So like Ganassi.
Yep.
Like you could, if you're gonna play Ganassi Rune Knight, it could make a lot of sense to do this, but just don't flavor it as giants.
I think out of all those, the ones you probably don't pick is the. I feel like I knew this at one point. Fire rune.
Hill Rune.
I like the hill rune. That piercing, slashing, bludgeoning damage is all magic included.
Yeah, but you don't pick it because it's a hill giant.
Now your Hagen is showing.
Yeah, big
for
pig.
sure. Yeah, maybe the cloud rune. No, the cloud runes are good. I don't know. You can pick whichever one you want.
It
Which
depends.
One? Yeah, whichever.
It depends.
It doesn't matter what our opinion is. You get to choose which one.
But
If you
you
play this.
get to pick 5 eventually, so there is one odd duck out.
Yeah.
Also at 3rd level, if that wasn't enough,
Here, you know what?
I can do it. No, there's not really that much left.
All right. Fair enough.
It's like literally as much as like 2 other runes.
I know. That's why I was like, I'll
no.
finish it up.
This is a really long description for the class.
It is
though.
Very.
Yeah. You have learned how to imbue yourself with the might of giants. As a bonus action, you can magically gain the following benefits, which last for 1 minute. If you are smaller than large, you become large, along with anything you are wearing. If you lack the room to become large, your size doesn't change. You also gain advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. And once on each of your turns, one of your attacks with a weapon or an unarmed strike can deal an extra 1d6 damage to a target on a hit. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses of it until you finish a long rest. At 7th level, you get Runic Shield. When you learn to invoke rune magic to protect your allies when another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to force the attacker to reroll the d20 and use a new reroll, or new roll. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Great stature. At 10th level, the magic of your runes permanently alters you. When you gain this feature, you roll 3d4. You grow a number of inches in height equal to the roll. For all the short kings out there.
Where do you grow?
It doesn't specify.
I
so
need
it's
to know.
up to
You
your discretion.
decide.
Yep.
It's up to you. This is D&D.
It's very important.
Up to your DM's discretion. Moreover, the damage you deal with your Giant's Might feature increases to a 1d8.
Woohoo! I got an 8. We're at 9 inches, baby.
Oh my,
Oh my.
that's telling.
I love it.
It's a good thing you're already married.
At 15th level, Master of Runes, you can invoke each rune you know from your Rune Carver feature twice rather than once, and you regain all expended uses whenever you finish a short or long rest. So you get to do all 5 of them runes twice. Yeah.
Like it.
Runic Juggernaut. At 18th level, you learn how to amplify your rune-powered transformations. As a result, the extra damage you deal with Giant's Might feature becomes a D10. Moreover, when you use that feature, your size can increase to huge, and while you are that size, your reach increases by 5 feet.
It's huge.
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 Huge. All right. So the last last subclass that we have to talk about is the samurai. We're not actually going to talk about it. We're just going to go over it. Basically, I need to look at it again because I think, if I remember right, they just pick a weapon and they're really good at it.
No,
That's not right. What the fuck class is that?
that is Kensai.
That's a monk thing.
That's a monk thing.
Okay.
Similarly, very similar in concept.
Kensai is what samurai would want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is just you live like you're supposed to be like literally like a samurai. You get like a fighting spirit. You're supposed to be like a.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's really not. I actually like it, but it's just kind of meh.
It's blech.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not.
I feel like a lot of the fighter classes can be bleh.
Yes,
Or
because
subclasses
It's
can
supposed
be
to be
blah.
very simple.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to RP it
Yes.
and
Yeah.
make it interesting.
Yeah.
And that's where it falls into it can be difficult.
It's a trap. It can be a trap sometimes for some people to be like, if they're not good role players, to be like,
Well, if they're new, especially.
especially if you're new, but like there are also veterans who just like, I can't play fighter. I'm like, well, are you role playing? Are you
Right.
and I think
Right.
that's why, because when you come in as a new person, one of the most
intimidating things?
well, I mean,
No, it's
role playing is the most intimidating. But what I mean is when you come in new, the reason I think champion is so good for a new person is because when you get into that first fight and you start really doing some damage and
It feels good.
yeah, and you're attacking 4 times a turn because you're level 6 or whatever you are, and it's just fun.
But the role play necessity to make playing a fighter fun
And
is
interesting.
also good practice for a new player.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Get
like
them growing pains out early.
well, it's really fun that first time you really get into your character as the character, not the class, not the combat, but when you really feel connected to the character you've made, it's just really fun. And I think Champion gives them the room to do that because they're not worried about
Keeping up with
Rune
every
Knight
feature.
and getting that degree so they can play Rune Knight.
Yeah.
It's not really that much. It's just
Well, so they can understand what it says.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
you
a
have
lot
to
of-
be like a lawyer.
complicated language.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like we need to bring up Hagen because we've mentioned the racism.
Yeah, that.
We've mentioned it a few times. I just want to clarify: Ethan is not a racist. Hagen, 100% a racist. Had to roll each time he met a new
Race.
race in D&D.
He didn't have to. That was Ethan's choice.
Well, that was part of the character
Yeah.
I made.
Yes.
It's important to note in my world, dwarves in themselves are usually inherently racist because they were
A little bit.
Well, they
They
were
have a
like,
superiority complex
yeah,
as a race.
They were like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first race. They enslaved most of the other races. Therefore, they see themselves as the best.
Yeah. And Ethan played that to a T. He did very good. Hated Dragonborns the most.
No,
Yes.
I hated dragons the most,
Yeah.
Dragons. And then that tied
and
into.
then certain types of humans
Yeah.
Yes. And then lycanthropes.
and lycanthropes.
and lycanthropes.
Yes, those were my most hated people. Dragonborns
Died.
were like 50%.
Died, was resurrected as a Dragonborn.
Yeah. The primal no.
The fucking karma.
Yeah.
And that was intentional too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I know
They
it,
tried
I
to-
know it was intentional.
They tried to use, we had a druid, so they tried to reincarnate, and I just said, nope, you're a dragonborn.
You flavored it as because I was
Yes,
was
you
partially a paladin at that point.
So he's
you
being
flavored it
punished.
as my deity
Yeah.
was punishing me for being a racist.
Yeah, he's serving his penance.
Having said that,
Yeah.
Hagen's best friends were an elf, a dragonborn, a leonin, and a tiefling.
It was a very diverse party.
And I don't remember what Jeremy's character was.
Tabaxi.
What was his name?
Jesus Christ.
Kodo.
Yeah.
He remembers!
Kodo.
Yeah.
He was so good. He was an assassin. And he was so good at disguise. I never remembered his name.
I
still
don't
have
think he
trouble.
gave it out a lot.
He didn't.
All right. So now that we've wrapped up all these subclasses, we're going to get into the fighter question. So again, comes from Dungeon Loot Armory, except for we've kind of adjusted it a little bit because we didn't agree with one of the picks. The pick was Geralt from The Witcher. He's a blood hunter.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all agree with that. He is
yeah.
a blood hunter. He is not a fighter.
And he will be brought up in the Blood Hunter episode.
Yep. He is very good at fighting. I will say that. Like, I could see how someone could say he's
Sure.
a fighter. But all in all, he's a blood hunter. So our options for today as who you would put in your party. You have Gimli from Lord of the Rings. We have the Hound, which is the one that we placed from Game of Thrones. You have Leonidas from 300. And you have Percival, or Percy, from Critical Role. Jarrett, I know who you're picking. I think we all know who we're all picking. Actually, I don't know. You'd be the odd man out, probably.
I have a problem with Percival. We didn't do Gunslinger.
Yeah, we did. But
Yeah, we
that's
did.
fine. No, we didn't.
Did we
No,
skip it?
We
Yeah.
skipped it.
How did we
But
skip it?
it's also not official either, so.
Oh,
Yeah. that's true.
It's even less official than Echo Knight.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's okay.
all right.
It's also a lot more bookkeeping.
That's why we
yep.
didn't do it, because it's not on here.
Yeah. It's fine.
Because it's unofficial. So
It's fine.
either way, gunslingers, they get guns, they can shoot.
If it's not, it's more complicated than even Rune Knight.
I have problems with Percy though because he's a gunslinger.
Sure, not a true fighter.
Percy the character is fantastic. And the story arc that he goes through is amazing.
Yeah.
Gunslinger itself has its problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But it's a Pathfinder thing. They had to make it work.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. So who you picking? Who you putting in your party?
It's still Percy.
I knew. I figured he would pick Percy.
I'm between two of them. Leonidas and the Hound. I don't know which one. I think Leonidas would be better, but he's also kind of an asshole. The Hound, not that the Hound's not an asshole, but he's not an egotistical asshole.
That's true. He
Here's-
doesn't think highly of himself.
Yeah.
The Hound towards the end, but no spoilers, but towards the end,
We mean no spoilers.
When he-
the fucking
it
show's been
becomes
over
a-
for.
okay,
We did a
before he
whole
dies,
episode.
Clegane Bowl, motherfuckers.
I pick the
We
Hound.
did a whole episode on it.
That's true. Okay,
We
fine.
talked about it.
Fine. Okay, fine. I picked the Hound, just before he dies.
See, and I pick Leonidas.
Just before he dies.
No, I pick Leonidas because I'm afraid the Hound will get pissed off with the party and just leave.
Yeah. Me. Probably will.
Leonidas is there for the fight.
I don't think the Hound, the way the Hound developed, I don't think that he would leave. If he liked the party, you had to make him like the party.
That's the issue. You got to make him like the party. Every party I've been in has been really shitty and hard to like.
Maybe that says something about us.
It does. We're shitty people. we make we let our shittiness come out in D&D.
It's true. But that's the fun part about D&D.
Yeah, because it's not real. You could make an asshole. I made a character named Murder. That was his whole point. Run around killing shit.
I made a racist.
That wasn't even a shitty character. Like his actions weren't shitty.
What?
Murder.
Murders?
Yeah.
You don't know what he did before.
Well, I don't, but I'm saying the actions of the campaign were not
Yeah.
shitty.
That's because it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to wrap up everything. We all made terrible picks for Fighter. I think that's because we don't. I'm talking about the question for Fighter. I know that we appreciate Fighter, but not as much as.
It's not as interesting.
Yeah. Not as much as other classes.
I enjoy playing fighter more than most because I get to focus on the RP more.
Yeah. It's understandable. Well, as always, if you want to chat with us, we are in the Discord. Jarrett just listens. He doesn't fucking say anything.
Just
He
watches.
just
I was saying,
watches.
don't listen. I
Well,
watch.
same thing. You
No?
listen with your eyes. You fuck.
It doesn't work like that.
I know.
I see with my ears.
It's late. I'm getting tired. Need a nap. And you can join us in the Discord. You can find links to the Discord, our Facebook page, and all our episodes at anchor.fm/chaotically nerdy. We thank you for listening to this episode, and we hope you listen to some more.
Adios.